All right, now we've got Miss Jessica Guerrero joining us from North Seattle. That I learned her and her husband are both in the business. He's also on track to be a pilot. So she's running and working and kicking butt as much as she can work in this business. What was fun is that when I first met her, I met her at the convention, and she'd been with us for like a minute and saw the big picture, saw the upside, and flew down, brought some of her team with her, and joined us at our Phoenix convention. That was so fun to meet you, your personality, now to see, fast forward a couple of weeks and now months. I think you did over $24,000 last month, and you're building a team as fast as can be right now as well. And so I just wanted to, take some of that energy and take some of that excitement and help pass it on to all these new rising star agents that want to go emulate what you're doing. So happy to have you on here. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me, Grady. Yeah, I actually started here in January. I was at the grocery store and I was stuck at my previous company. So when I learned about Nina and Hayden, I learned from them in a Q&A and on Instagram. So by the time I got home, I had already called Nina and texted her saying I was ready to go, and we got the contracts going the next day. So it's been since then. I think the week after that was convention. So I've never really, I didn't do anything, no dialing, no nothing before convention. So that definitely changed the whole perspective when I started.
Did they tell you had to come, or did you just kind of see the bigger picture and felt you needed to be?
It was going to be in LA, and the moment she said Arizona, it was simpler for me to fly to Arizona and my team, so we just booked it. Yeah, we were so excited to be there.
So some clarity, how long were you at your practice company?
Yeah, I was at my practice company for a year and a half. I was a server before that. I have a bachelor's degree, half of a master's, but I never really know where I wanted to go, but I knew it was business. So I started a skincare company, which taught me so much about business years ago. And so I was a server, found my other company. I was there for a year and a half. And when I always thought there has to be a company out there that I can serve clients for more than just one crappy product, that I can just, help them more than just being a captive agent and all these back-end problems. So I found FFL, and I knew that was like what I was preaching to the world. So I jumped right in, and it's been a life-changing ever since.
What was your best month, year back at your practice company?
My best month was, it was 30,000. But yet again, it's 50% commission plus like some bonus. So out of the 30, I only saw about 18. Okay. Yeah, I think. So here I come my first month, and I put in 3,000 in leads, make 20, net 18,000 with way less work. It was just like such a relief.
That's cool. How do you like working leads?
I like them. I work every single type of lead. I work game time, happy agent, 1 month old, instance new. I have a part of a county locked so that I could get here. Any type, all leads work. And that's what I tell every single person that in my team, when I came to find out that if I stuck on one type of lead, I wasn't really succeeding as much as if I mixed them all and treated them all as if they were the same. Sure, some other ones might have like a little bit more advantage on booking them, but when you're in the home, they all have the same reason for requesting the insurance, whether they did 4 steps or 16 steps. So you got them in the home, you're in the home, and that's what I wanted to talk about, the sales tips that I wanna give when going into the home. So life insurance is not something that you can touch, right when you buy it. You can like walk out of the car lot with it, or you can like have a housewarming with it, right? Wish people thought about life insurance like that, but it's not the thing. So you have to really sell the emotion from the moment you get to the door. And sometimes you might stumble upon the people who, oh, yeah, Jessica, this is something I so need. My wife or my husband could not move on without it or without my help. So keep the emotion up, because what I come to find out with me or other agents' mistakes is you think you have the sale from the beginning because they tell you that, and you just go ahead and show them quotes, and then you end up not selling anything because you're just showing them quotes. So you're not a quote person, right? You're there to protect them. So I kind of want to go a little bit on how I do it when I start. And Hayden taught me really good things. So always ask why they requested it. That has to be the first thing after you tell them, hi, I'm a broker in the state of Washington. I'm here to show you all the options that you qualify based on your health and habits. But before we get going, Grady, I just really want to ask you, why is it that you requested this? And you stare at them in the eye and you don't say anything else. And
Have you stared at someone before?
why is it that you request this, right? Oh, I just, and some people, like I said, will be really good and they'll tell you, I really need this. I see the value. Keep up the emotion. But those people who vaguely say, oh, I just wanted to see some quotes, or I just wanted to see what it was about. Okay, great. Now, before I show you everything, we do have to see if you qualify. Now, with those programs that I would be showing you, who would benefit with those the most, right? So you have to find the emotion and the benefit of it before you even show anything at the very beginning, right? So when you dig into their finances. What would it look like if they were to die tomorrow, either or? What would the kids look like? Say the kids' names, right? I think that's super important. If someone were into my home and tell me, Emma's going to be in trouble if you don't have insurance, I'm buying insurance, right? So you have to put the most important person in their life in front of it, because you're selling emotion in life insurance. It's not a product that they might see. Yeah, we have great living benefits, but most people, the benefit goes to the beneficiary. So that's my main tip, is making sure that you bring out the why. They filled it out, right? At some point it crossed in their head that they needed it. So you just have to bring out that emotion up again, right? Also, please take control. From the moment I heard in the 10 a.m. call with, oh my God, I forgot his name, Toby. He said, you have to take control from the beginning, right? What we're gonna do is go ahead and fill an application and see what you can qualify for. You never really give him an option of, well, okay, so I see you have diabetes and high blood pressure, great. So even if you know that America works, you still want to have them want it a little bit more, right? Great. So based on your health, and you put it on the Genie on your app, right? So based on your health, the system told me that you qualify for America, this, and you pre-qualify. I always say pre-qualify because we never know in the end, right? And you don't want them to know, oh, well, I have it, I can just think about it. You're pre-qualified for this. What we're gonna do is submit an application. And I always talk about the protection they get. So you're not talking about this 10,000 is going to come when you do pass away, right? You're talking about your cremation, your flowers, your burial, and a little bit more is going to be left over for your daughter Martha when you do pass away. So you're not talking numbers, right? You're talking the benefit they're receiving. Because very important, again, they're not seeing it outside their house. You have to think of, picture what they're buying. If it's mortgage protection, another thing that Hayden taught me, I used to just throw out a bunch of quotes. Another thing that Hayden taught me was you have to show them how many months of protection they're getting, right? So, okay, Martha, so I see based on, you're telling me that you want to cover at least a year of the protection for if your daughter were to keep the house. Is that correct? Yes. Okay. So this is what this would look like. So for 9 months of protection, for 12 months of protection, or 15 months of protection. Now, out of those three, we do have to still see if you qualify. All right, Martha. But out of those three, which one would benefit your daughter the most at the time when the time does come? Right? You're not asking which one would benefit your income most, or dig too much into their budget. Unless it's a serious issue, like a serious budget issue, then that's when you talk about it at the end, right? But you dissect exactly what they need it for, not what they should be paying monthly. Right? So that's
I didn't even get to ask you anything else. You just ran a clinic all of a sudden. Like, thank you. That was fantastic.
Yes. So one thing I wanted to add is, when it comes to bringing the emotion and talking to them, you relate to them as a person. They're gonna start treating you as a friend. They're gonna start talking to you about their family and their history, and that's great. And with that, don't just listen and try and continue. Really listen to what they're saying, because anything that they give you could be super helpful for you to close it, right? Yeah. Like every single little, and we can get into detail about that, but listen to what the client is telling you and find the issue. Like as a salesperson, you go in, You find the issue, right? We're asking why they need it, and you're the expert. Don't ask them, so what kind of coverage were you looking for? Because that was a mistake I did, and it never went anywhere, right? They're like, well, I don't know. You're the expert. So you're supposed to be the one telling them, this is the most beneficial for you. Like if I were to, when I go and buy my car, if I went to buy my house, I need a super knowledgeable representative, right? Someone that knows their thing, can probably give me a discount or whatever, find a way to treat me like a real client. So if you put yourself in that situation the other way around, there shouldn't be an issue with you closing most of your deals, right? So that's the beauty about FFL, is that you're there because they requested it. So you don't have to like try and like, here's a hot dog and then try and sell them insurance, right? So it's super simple with exactly what you need to do, exactly what you're there for. And if you feel confident and clear, they're gonna feel super safe. Because if I've had it where I don't even feel safe in the home and I don't feel too confident, and they see it, right? I just feel like, call me next week. We got to think about it. So that's the type of responses that you get when you don't feel confident.
Yeah. Let me think about it, sir. Devil. They're it's yeah, tell me yes or no. Just don't tell me to think about it. And that's a good open. But I want to reflect back on what you said about leads for a second. And you're talking about I work all different kinds of leads, all different types of leads. They're all great leads. And if you think about the concept of the leads, is it's people in certain areas requesting coverage, regardless of it. They're thinking if it's final expense, whether it's just general insurance, whether it's mortgage protection, you know, Medicare. I mean, all these different lead types. And one of the things that I would realize is like, you know, I have my 30 plus appointments booked a week. I would never actually even look at the lead type. Like I would just put them in as appointment, John Smith, Mary and Betty, Tim and Tina, and I'd show up there. And it was just them requesting coverage. They're all generally the same people. They're the same. They love their families. They love their spouses. They love their kids. They want to put some protection in place. They don't have guidance. Maybe they got something, an accidental from the bank. Maybe they got something from Tina or Nancy in HR, and they think that's the best thing ever because they spend $238 a month, and that's $1 million. I got $1 million, Jessica. Nancy in HR said that's what I've got. And it's $2.38 a month. Here's my pay stub. And then now taking that time to unfold it and explain how that works, and no, that's not possible. And going through that. And then just like you said, they're just people. They're people that have pain and problems that we are the problem solvers for. And you've done an exceptional job of kind of breaking that down. So is there anything else that you feel that you do in the home that has been beneficial to you, maybe towards the close, or how you present the numbers, or how you solidify the sale? Like, what are some of the things that people can pull away from this?
So after I completely figure out the inventory sheet and find the best programs for them, I explained it the way I said it, which one would benefit 9, 10, or 15 months worth of protection. Once they pick, okay, let's go ahead, and if I can get your ID and a blank check, or if you can pull up your online checking, that way we can figure out while I figure the rest, you know, while you're doing the application. So I always try and keep them a little busy and talk to them. Like, you're just there typing. Why not ask them how their day went, or what they're doing for the weekend, or how's Father's Day weekend going to look like? Just be genuine, and people will love you. I promise. And one thing that I wanted to talk about dialing is that I definitely did notice the difference between my practice company and here, right? When it came to dialing, because with the dials, it was a rude awakening for me. Over there, you're pretending it's free, right? And so you get into the home a lot easier. With here, it's 80% or 90% of the phones. I can't stress that enough. If you're getting no-showed for 4 out of those 5 appointments, go back or think of looking at a different script, or go back and perfect your script. There's so many people out there with so many different scripts. If the one that you're doing is not for you, go for a different one, but really figure out what the issue is, instead of being all bummed and I just spent another $1,000, I just sold one and I don't know where to go from there. Really just think, how can I get better? Like, how can my in-home get better? I hope this helped. How can my phone script get better? And you only get better if you start.
I agree. Massive success first comes from massive failure. And the only way to get good is to learn what not to do first. So
people are asking, how do I do this? How do I do that? And they want to know 110% everything about each carrier. And I don't even know 50% about each carrier, but I know the ones that I need to know. And I know what I need to do to get to the SSM level, or which is what I want to get to. So those are the really questions you need to ask yourself every day. How can I make $1 today? Did you make $1 today? Ask yourself that, right? Was this all this BCBS work really paying me for the future, right? So for new agents, I always say start, because the point is to get 1% better every day. But it's simple math. You can't get better if you don't start working every day. You can't just make $2,000 and think you're on top of the world and then go waste them, and then you don't have money for leads, and now you're stuck, right? Or with any amount that you make, you can't get off the pedal. Like I'm not at my sister's bachelorette. One of the main reasons is because I want to make it work. I want to make sure that I'm here and that my company that I'm building is going to get to the top. So that's what you need to look for every day.
I love it. Let's talk about that more. So you mentioned that your next goal is to get the senior sales manager, earn your logo, $100,000 team. You're already selling from the front, 10,000 a week. So you're leading by example. And the big thing I always try to express to people is that if you want to grow a team, then do what you'd hope they would do. Act as though you go, you know what? If I hired 10 more Jessicas, oh my God, it'd be lights out. Like it would be an incredible business we'd have. Versus hiding from the activity that is necessary to grow a business, which is having lots of conversations, which is being forthcoming with, the struggles that you have maybe early in the business, and trying to seek counsel and get mentorship. And as you mentioned, you talked to Hayden, who will be a Hall of Fame producer this year, probably by August or September, and learning from someone who sells at a high level. And that's the thing that it takes to lead. It takes to guide. And I'd love for you to kind of expand on that, how your team is doing, what your thoughts are, how you recruit, where you're finding aides. Like, let's talk now about building.
Yeah. So I've always considered myself a good people's person. So when I was in the previous company, I was always really skeptical about hiring, because I wanted people to have a good opportunity. So when I moved into FFL, I post every single day. I don't know who follows me, but I post every single day, 10 times a day, and I hire about 5 people a week. And they all go into, it's all Instagram, and I need to get better with LinkedIn, because the one time I posted on LinkedIn, I got one person, Austin, I don't know if you're here, but he got his license scheduled and all that. So yeah, posting every day and showing them how you're doing it, because you can just feel desperate. Hey, did you see the video I sent you? Or did you see what I did today? Post it, because people are by nature ghost followers. Like, people just like to follow people and see what they're up to. So if you're doing that, might as well post about something that can benefit their lives. It's just that simple. And when you can get paid $4 or $5K, it doesn't have to go into your auto trial, and it's in your account, and things are clear, and you know exactly what to do. There's no like hidden percentages you have to give up or all of that stuff. You become a really good leader. You show them, if you're clear with everything that you're showing everybody every day, and then you post it, you add them to, even if they're unlicensed, you add them to the group me, because you want to keep them motivated throughout that whole time. Even if you have, like, I started my personal little group me group when I had like 5 agents, because I knew it was going to grow. Now we have like 34 in there, and we're all trying to support each other and grow, and like people license first sales every day. Just kind of how we see it on the big picture. You want to keep it on your small picture in your group, because everybody wants to feel valued. Everybody wants to be acknowledged for their first sale and things like that. So if you show from the front and truly care about your team, and really, like, it takes no, like, if you're busy, do a voice memo. Like, it doesn't have to be a text, or be like, hey, I'll call you back, but always be there for them.
Yeah. I like how you said ghost followers. I was like, don't be a ghost.
So many ghost followers.
We have a lot of ghost agents that, like, they'll go and they'll take their test and they'll study that material and they'll read through the hundreds of pages of ExamFX, and they'll go sit at the state and they'll pass it, and then they'll go get their fingerprints at mailbox, etc., and they'll drive it on down and they'll submit it and they'll wait. and then they'll get approved, and then they'll go through Insurance Bay, and then they'll get their E&O, and they'll do all this time. They'll go through boot camp. They'll tell you how great boot camp was and how much they learned and how excited they are and all these wonderful things about the future and promise and hope and dreams and all these things they want to accomplish. And they get their first writing numbers. You know what they don't do? They don't buy leads.
They don't buy leads.
And they just fade away into, wherever the cemetery is for ghost agents. And we should be trying to, I don't want to say I want to revive the dead, but we should try to find a way where we can guarantee that these people are not going to be ghost agents. And I think that's with having healthier, stronger conversations on the front end of, are you ready to become a business owner? And there's many of us on here, and I want you to talk here in a second, but there's many people that are on here that have made the conscious decision to go forth full throttle and grow a business with us. And there's some of you that haven't thrown your heart over the bar, and now you're trying to jump over it and go get it. And that's something that you see someone like Jessica and Mike coming up here in a minute have done, is that this is their thing. Missing your sister's bachelorette party. Now, granted, maybe you don't like her that much. Maybe you're not into partying. I don't know what the underlying reasons are, but it sounded really good, and I respect you for it, for not going to something that is a distraction from your life today, because in a year or two, you can take her to Europe and throw her a secondary bachelorette party or whatever you want, because
Jackie,
you decided to build a real business. Say it again?
I was saying, Jackie, if you're listening, I'll take you to Europe next year.
There you go. So I'd love for any final thoughts you have as we close out your segment.
Yeah, for sure. Just really have the mentality every day of, if you were to go any other route, right? If you were to go to a corporate route or going to school, you would still have to be extremely responsible. You still have to put so much money and time in, but then you wait for all these things, right? But then you come into FFL and you don't see results in 2 weeks. It just doesn't work that way. You have to take it seriously. And I love something that I learned from the manager bootcamp that said, if you put in lemonade stand money in, like you're like a cheap lemonade stand, then you're gonna get cheap lemonade stand money, right? But if you treat it like a true business with hiring staff once you can and working nights, it's all gonna cultivate over time.
I agree.
And it will be way better than any corporate job, I can promise.
I agree. Heck yeah. Did you like that 20K producer to board member boot camp?
Best thing. I watched it twice already. It's the greatest thing ever.
So for all those who don't know what that is, get to 20,000 issue paid in any month, and you get now invited into a secret training we have for people that are at that level, that are ready to go to the next level, which is build a business to board member and beyond, which is essentially you're a millionaire. So I'm glad you watched it. Great to hear you taking advantage. And thank you so much for coming on and giving the team some of your time. You're building a tremendous agency so far, and you also have such a great personality that is focused on work and doing the right things each and every day, that I know that your passion would help us all. So thank you so much for joining us today, Jessica. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
God, I appreciate you too.